All right, let's talk about something that sounds super complicated but is actually a brilliant idea. The legal trust. I know, the word itself sounds a little intimidating, but trust me, by the end of this, you'll see it's really just a smart way to manage and protect things for the people you care about.
So, let's kick things off with a big question, one that probably crosses your mind now and then. How do you make sure your assets, your home, your savings, whatever it is, are used exactly the way you want for the people you love, especially if you can't be there to oversee things yourself? That right there, that's the core problem a trust was invented to solve.
To get our heads around this, I want you to picture something. Let's use an analogy. Think of a trust as a special kind of financial lockbox.
So what is this lockbox, really? Well, at its heart, a trust is a legal relationship. You place your property inside it, you give a very trusted person the key, and you leave a crystal clear set of instructions on who gets the contents and when. It's a formal agreement where one person is legally responsible for managing assets for somebody else.
And this is where the real magic happens. The single most important principle of a trust is that it separates the management of an asset from the enjoyment of it. This split, this division between control and benefit, is what gives the trust all of its power and flexibility.
Now, every single trust, whether it's super simple or incredibly complex, has three main characters in the story. Let's break down who's who in the world of trusts. First up, you've got the settlor. This is the person who creates the lockbox and puts their property inside it. Simple enough. Next, you have the trustee. This is the trusted person, or it could be an institution like a bank, who holds the key. They have a strict legal duty to manage everything exactly according to the settlor's rules. And finally, the beneficiary. This is the person, or maybe a group of people, that the trust was created for. They're the ones who get to enjoy the benefits.
Okay, so for this whole lockbox idea to actually work and be legally binding, it needs a super strong foundation. That foundation is built on three absolutely essential elements, often called the three certainties.
And when I say these need to be clear, I mean crystal clear. There can't be any ambiguity. First, you need certainty of intention. The person creating the trust has to make it obvious they really truly intend to create one. Second, certainty of subject matter. You have to be able to identify exactly what property is going into the trust. And third, certainty of object. It has to be perfectly clear who the beneficiaries are. If even one of these is fuzzy, the whole trust could fall apart.
All right, so why would anyone actually go through the trouble of setting one of these up? Well, the practical benefits are, honestly, they're huge and incredibly versatile. Trusts are basically financial problem solvers. They can shield property from outside claims. They're perfect for providing for kids or anyone who can't legally hold property themselves. Like, you could set one up to make sure your nephew's college tuition is paid for, no matter what. Trusts also let property benefit people one after another, across generations. They can help groups of people own land together, manage charitable giving, and sometimes even help minimize certain taxes. It's really important to get that a trust isn't just a box sitting on a shelf. It's a dynamic relationship, and it's governed by very strict rules. This whole setup creates a really critical balance of power. And that balance is all built on the trustee's fiduciary duty. Now, that's a fancy term, but all it means is they have a rock-solid legal obligation to always act in the best interest of the beneficiary. No exceptions. They have to be loyal, fair, and keep perfect records. And in return, the beneficiary has real power. They have the right to make sure the trust is managed correctly, to get the benefits they were promised, and even to take legal action if something goes wrong. It's a built-in system of checks and balances.
So what happens when it's time for the story to end? A trust doesn't necessarily last forever. Let's look at how a trustee's role and the trust itself can come to a conclusion.
There are four main ways a specific trustee's job can end. First, there's a disclaimer. That's basically when someone who's been appointed just says, "No, thank you, I don't want the job." A trustee can also be removed, say if they're not doing their job properly. They can also formally retire and step down. And of course, if a trustee passes away, their appointment ends right then and there.
You know, when you boil it all down, this quote just hits the nail on the head. A trust is, fundamentally, a contractual relationship to hold property for the benefit of some other persons. It's really a powerful promise, codified into law, to look after something for someone else's well-being.
For centuries, literally, this legal tool has been used to protect fortunes, secure family legacies, and support causes that people believe in. It's an incredible testament to the power of planning ahead. So, the question to leave you with is this: how could a tool like this shape your future?